and welcome to another episode of Motors for the Masses. And today we are here to have a look at a small budget Cafe Racer 125 project. So let's go through here and have a look. Good morning.
Greetings.
Right, so this is it. So here we are with the bike. Now you may recognise this chap here. Of course, this is Malcolm, my partner in crime at Motors for the Masses. And he has gone for a budget bike that he wants to turn into a cafe racer. Now, how much did you pay for this bike?
It was originally advertised for 400 with some issues. The wife got involved. £200 was paid.
£200.
So
Now, you can't really grumble at that. It's a 2008 bike with a 125 10 horsepower engine, which is good for about 55 miles an hour.
With an MOT.
With an MOT, indeed. Now, the idea is to turn this into a cafe racer style. There's lots of things to buy and do. Most of it's been done already. Not now. We'll show you that in a minute. And other bits can be added along the way. And we'll give you some prices and some ideas. So if you want to do this, you have an idea. Now, this bike is based on a what?
It's originally a mid-80s, well, it's based on the original mid-80s Honda CG125.
Very popular bike, CG125. It's a Chinese copy made by Tsukida.
There we go.
Now, the first thing that has to go is this hideous headlight.
It is very 80s.
It is.
Yeah.
So, popped onto a very popular online auction site.
Yeah.
And for £10 purchased this. Now, this is a round headlight, obviously, as you can see, 7-inch. Malcolm has already modified it to put a side light in the bottom, so that's ready to go. So, let's get cracking with that.
Indeed.
So this is a case of undoing the 2 bolts at the side, sorting out the wiring, and bolting this actually directly in place.
It's a straight swap pretty much. So while we're at this bit, it would make sense to change these indicators as well. So to do away with these lovely 80s indicators, again, popular auction site, we found these for the princely sum of, I believe, something like £11, all in delivered, and they look quite nice, I think. So whilst we've got this bracket apart, we'll chuck these on as well. So when it comes to changing indicators, it seems that most of them are a like-for-like swap. So where there's a hole for this peg to poke through the bracket here, this actual bolt-on piece fits straight in the hole. And then it's just like-for-like on the wiring, just pull 2 wires out, put 2 wires in, simple as.
So with this next bit, you have to be very careful because all these wires need to go inside the headlight unit. So you have to be very careful how you jam them in, and then just cover that up with a rubber grommet or a bit of duct tape. Do the job.
So we've filled the hole, bit of gaffer tape. It's good enough, and it's going to be underneath, so you're not going to be able to see it, so that's great. Now it's just a case of poking all these wires through, one at a time, until they're all inside the headlamp. Okay, so there you have it. One fitted round headlight and indicators. So all that's left to do then is check it works.
Right.
So key on, side light, brilliant, dip beam, brilliant, main beam, brilliant.
Fantastic.
Excellent stuff.
Now later on there is going to be a new speedo, but that's coming. Right, so what's next then, Malcolm?
Well, I think next, get this seat off, because let's face it, it's ugly, it's got to go in the bin. And I have already had a look, it's really rusty underneath there.
Now, I know you've already chopped this rear mudguard down.
I have shortened this down, there is a little bit of video footage we can throw in to show that.
It was down here, so that's coming up right now.
So with the addition of the nice new seat and the snazzy new indicators, this has got to go. So, because we've got a bit of a split going on here from it being knocked in the past, I figured take this off and we'll cut this mudguard down, make it just a little bit shorter so that the end of it only comes to somewhere around here. So we'll take this piece and mount it up here, and then we'll mount the new light on the back of that. So there we have it, one shrunken mudguard. It's not the neatest job in the world, but I'm actually pretty pleased with that. So how much did we remove? Well, we removed this little piece, which is probably about just over half an inch, I guess, and this piece, about 5 to 5.5 inches taken out of there, which brings that number plate in a good amount. So I'm happy with that, very pleased. It'd be nice to see the overall finished look, and let's face it, that light there is much better than this great big monstrosity, which is a bit crusty as well.
So as you can see,
and
that's a little bit of a project.
As a result of that trim, we've now fitted the rear light as well, so there's that.
Yes,
looking
new rear
lovely.
light. So let's get this seat off
in.
and the new one on.
Yeah. Looking good, but need some indicators, so let's whip that back out the way. This is nice and short. I might even shorten it a bit more just to bring it right up to the back seat, but I don't want this number plate and learner plate getting too close to the tyre because they do flap about. So I think we'll be alright as it is, but I might just trim a little bit out later on just to tune it up a little bit. Also, I've had to extend the wires because the wires that came with this light, £10, popular auction site, weren't quite long enough to make it all the way to the connector, which is back here. So I just took some of the original wiring, joined it on, pushed it through the original grommet there, so we're all good. I had to drill a new hole here to put this wire through, but that took like 5 minutes.
Okay, cool.
So indicator brackets, these are the original brackets, same as the Honda ones, and they just hook on, fix on with the bolt, and then the indicators bolt onto that, so let's do that.
At this point, I'd like to point out there are plans to shorten this front mudguard, and the reason for that is because it's very old-fashioned, so we're going to make it look more like my one, more cafe racer style. So as you can see, indicators are on. By the way, just one. Get rid of that thing.
Yep.
Now for the seat. I think you'll agree.
Yeah.
Much nicer.
Just need to bolt it down.
Now the seat's on, you can see it looks so much better. Now just going to run through the prices again. So this headlight, £10. These indicators for the set of 4, £13. This seat, £31. The rear light, £10. And what about the other bits you've done?
So I've had to replace the stator and the regulator, charging issues when I got it, so all in up just under £50.
So basically the bike is running as good for 250 quid.
Yeah.
And with these extra bits,
just over 400, so 415 or thereabouts. If you pull into that, maybe a tin of paint from the pound shop.
Yep.
Which was basically what I did the brackets with. And these badges will be painted.
Right.
And then eventually, a bit of paint on there, a couple of plugs to plug this up, adjust that mudguard, change the handlebars, put a new speedo on.
Yeah. And the mudguard.
And we're good to go.
So that's coming up next. So for now, let's have a quick listen, see what it sounds like.
Go ahead.
a little bit of an update. As you can see, it's changed a bit more. Some new lower handlebars, these are straight bars, a wrap on the exhaust, mudguard, front mudguard cut down and brackets put in place, and a paint job on the tank and the side panniers, and the new small speedo. So basically overall it's cost very little money. £15 for the bars, £5 for the wrap, £6 for the paint. 3 was chopping the mudguard down, £10 for the light, £13 for the indicators, the seat £31 and £10 for the rear light. You can't really grumble. Bearing in mind the bike only cost £200 to start with, basically you've got a brat style cafe racer for about 450 quid. Now, you can't grumble at that. So that brings us to the end of this episode of Motors for the Masses. It just goes to show that you don't really need to spend £3,500 to get a cafe racer style bike.
Because this is the proof that it can be done for less than £500. And I think it's pretty cool. You know, everyone's opinion's their own, but
Indeed.
it works for me.
But whatever you do, make sure you're safe, but have fun. And until next time, thank you very much for watching.
Thank you very much.